What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Suit Hunt Show. Today is July 2nd, 2021. In today's video, I want to be doing something a little bit different. I want to be doing a 2022 Cincinnati Bengals 7-round mock draft. Know what you're thinking. Why are you doing a mock draft? The draft just ended a couple months ago. Well, today is exactly 300 days away from the 2022 NFL Draft in Las Vegas. So I decided to do a way too early, Bengals 7-round mock draft. I did a way too early NFL mock draft for the top 10 picks earlier, so make sure you go check that out. And, before we get started, this draft order is from ProFootballNetwork.com. This is definitely not the order I expect us to have this upcoming season. And it's very interesting, the 2022 NFL draft, a lot will depend on how these prospects will perform. Some of these first-round picks might have a horrible season and might go undrafted. It's very interesting. Some of these seventh-round picks might have a great year and be in the second round. So we'll go ahead and get started here with this way too early 2022 Cincinnati Bengals 7-round mock draft. And like I said, this draft order is by Pro Football Network, and it actually has us having the 5th pick in the NFL draft. If this happens to me, Zach Taylor should no longer be the head coach of the Bengals. I don't think that. I don't think that's too hard to understand. I think we're picking 5th here, like it is right here. Taylor has to go. But with this 5th pick here, we take Alabama offensive tackle Evan Neal. Evan Neal, to many, is the best offensive lineman in the 2022 NFL draft. He's, to many as well, the best offensive tackle, in this draft as well. We have Jonah Williams, who's played 2 seasons. He's played 10 games for us. People do not really talk about the inconsistency of Jonah Williams being able to stay on the field. 10 games in 2 years is just really unacceptable. I know he's a young talent and has potential to be a really nice offense tackle in the NFL, but Jonah Williams has to stay on the field for us to rely on him more. 10 games in 2 years, that is not good at all. And also, with Riley Reef, we signed him to a 1-year deal. He's definitely an upgrade over Bobby Hart. But, who's to say, Reef may not sign with us next season. And, with Williams unable to stay healthy and Reef, only on a 1-year deal, I think it's very smart here to pick up an offensive lineman, especially Evan Neal, who's, like I said, definitely the best offensive lineman here at the 5th pick. Something very, very, very interesting, though, and I briefly talked about it on my, top 10 2022 mock draft earlier, is what if Jesse Bates does not re-sign with the Bengals? That is something to look into. One of the top safeties in the draft, Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton. Maybe the Bengals maybe consider taking him here at the 5th pick. It's very, very interesting. And I know it's way too early, and there's just so many scenarios. And, this is going to change, throughout the college football season. Mock drafts and, rankings teams have for each player. They're going to change week by week, maybe even day by day. But this is just, way too early to look at the 2022, Cincinnati Bengals mock draft. So Evan Neal round 1, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Realistically, though, I think that's the best case scenario for the Bengals. Picking 5th, that's not good. But if you're going to pick in the top 5, get best player available and a team need, and that's exactly what the Bengals do here, taking Evan Neal 5th overall. As we continue here, the 2nd round, I love this pick so much. The Bengals take Oklahoma edge rusher Nik Bonitto. He's, to me, one of the best edge rushers in the class. I would say top 3. If he would have came out this past season, I still think he could have been maybe a 1st or 2nd round pick. But, he decided to, stay and return to the Oklahoma Sooners, which is honestly a really smart idea because, this past season's edge rushing class is one of the best we've ever seen. We signed Trey Hendrickson in the offseason. That is a replacement for, Carl Lawson, who ended up signing with the New York Jets. Trey Hendrickson had 13.5 sacks this past season with New Orleans Saints. We signed him to a big contract, a 4-year deal. Lots of people are excited about that, and, rightfully so. He had a great year last year. But you look at the other edge rushers, we really don't have anybody good. I really like Sam Hubbard. I do think he's one of the more underrated edge rushers in the draft. One of the more underrated edge rushers in the NFL. I think Hubbard is a really, really nice, run defender. He's not going to get you the sacks like Hendrickson did last season, But, when it comes to the run, stopping the run, he's right up there among some of the best edge rushers stopping the run. And Sam Hubbard is a free agent 1 year from now. And it's not a guarantee we will re-sign Sam Hubbard. So I think getting Nik Bonitto here would be a fantastic idea for the Bengals. I think it would be very, very smart, something to keep an eye on, especially because Nik Bonitto, edge is definitely a need, in my opinion, with, Sam Hubbard's contract, expiring in 1 year. But to me, he's also definitely the best player available here at the 37th pick overall. It's really best case scenario again, kind of to the Evan Neal pick in the first round. These first and second round picks so far for the Bengals have turned out very, very nicely. As you go to the third round here, I love this pick a lot too. We take Ohio State defense tackle Haskell Garrett. Haskell Garrett was actually one of my favorite defensive tackles, this past year, but, he decided to come back and try to win a national championship with Ohio State. I'm not sure if he's going to last this far here in the third round, 69th overall. But like I was saying, our depth at, edge is not nearly as good as people think. Our depth at, defense tackle is very, very, very slim. We have DJ Reader coming off a season-ending injury. We have Mike Daniels, who I like a lot, and I'm really glad we were able to sign him on a 1-year deal. But aside from that, we have no established defense tackles on our roster, really, in my opinion, who, we really don't have that guy, he can make a big play. DJ Reader, I'm a big fan of him, but, he's one of the more, run stuffers. He's not really going to get you sacks. He's going to create holes open for the linebackers to make a play and situations like that. I think getting Haskell Garrett here, defense tackle from Ohio State, is a great idea. To me, another situation where it's definitely the best player available. It's a team need. He's the best player at his position. This is a dream scenario here for the Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion. I know it sucks having us picking 5th overall, but if we're going to pick in the top 5 in each round, at least have us get a team need and best player available. And honestly, I think the first 3 rounds, that is exactly what we have done here. Getting Evan Neal, the offensive tackle from Alabama, at round 1. Oklahoma edge rusher Nik Bonitto in round 2. And as you can see, Ohio State defensive tackle Haskell Garrett in round 3. As we continue here in round 4, I know some people may not like this pick, but I actually like it quite a bit here. The 4th round, the Bengals take another offensive lineman. We took one in the first. This time it's a guard, and it's Cain Madden from Notre Dame University. Cain Madden had one of the highest grades according to PFF this past season during the college football season. I believe he had a top 25 grade among all players in FBS. Cain Madden actually played at Marshall last season, decided to transfer to Notre Dame to get more recognition. And, he's a preseason All-American. He's one of the more underrated guards in college football and one of the more underrated guards in the NFL draft. Getting some more interior offensive line help, I think this would be a great idea. We drafted Jackson Carman in the 2nd round. I know he's not played a snap, but, I did not really like that pick much at all compared to the other people. It really reminded me similar to the situation where we took Drew Sample a few years back. But I think getting Cain Madden here, I know it may be a little bit early, but to me, I like it, quite a bit here. Getting Cain Madden in the 4th, I think it's a nice pickup. He's going to be one of the better guards available, one of the better offensive linemen available. We need offensive linemen. I don't think this is a reach, but I think this would probably be the worst pick, of this mock draft. And, Cain Madden in the 4th, if that's the worst pick in this mock draft, I would say that's, a really nice draft. We're getting a preseason All-American, one of the best guards in the 4th round, and that's a reach. I think this, overall would be a very successful draft. As we continue here in the 5th round, we take Dante Stills, the defensive tackle from West Virginia University. I like this pick quite a bit too. Darius Stills, his brother, was a draft prospect this past season as well. Also, a defensive tackle. Like I said, I know we took Haskell Garrett in the 3rd round, but I'm all for, doubling down on defensive tackle in the later rounds, especially guys who should not be there and are some of the best players available. Stills in the 5th and Haskell Garrett in the 3rd are some of the best players available their team needs. I think those are guys who can really, help this, defense tackle group for the Bengals. And I know we drafted a couple, defense tackles this past, draft in April, but I really liked depth at defense tackle. To me, that's the worst. I would say, arguably one of the worst positions we are at, depth wise on the roster. And I think getting Stills here in the 5th would be a very smart idea for the Bengals. Getting more depth at defense tackle, getting more depth at defensive line. I mean, think about it. Throughout this mock draft, we've already got Nik Bonitto, Haskell Garrett, and Dante Stills. I think those are 3 guys who could have, nice careers, with the Bengals and everything. As we continue here in round 6, the 169th pick overall, we take a running back, and I know we took a running back this past season, Chris Evans from Michigan, but in the 6th round here, he was just too good to pass up. I have us taking Ohio State running back Master Teague. He's, if you watch, Ohio State, which I know, most Bengal fans are Ohio State fans, but you notice Master Teague being, just a really, really nice running back. I think getting him here in round 6 is an absolute steal. And if he's here, I know we have, a decent amount of running backs, and we even signed a couple of nice undrafted, free agent running backs like Pookie Williams from Kansas. But, Master Teague's here with the 169th pick overall in the 6th round. Why not take a flyer on him? To me, I think he's better than Chris Evans from Michigan. I think he could be a decent backup. Mix is coming off a season in the injury. We re-signed P. Ryan. Trevion Williams has shown some promise. But, with us drafting Chris Evans in the draft back in April, I don't think it's even a guarantee that Trevion Williams actually makes the team, which is crazy to me because, the limited carries that Trevion Williams has, he's shown a lot of promise being a running back in the Bengals backfield. But I like the Master Teague pick here, the running back from Ohio State in round 6. So far, this Bengals mock draft, to me, I think it's been really, really great. One bad thing about it is, and this is very unlikely because this is from ProFootballNetwork.com, and this has us picking 5th overall in the draft, which means it has us picking us 5th overall in each round. So some of you guys might not be here. Realistically, I really doubt we have the 5th pick. But if we do, we really have to, blow the coaching staff up. They have to go. And maybe we hire, Joe Brady or something like that. That was a 6th round with getting us Master Teague from Ohio State. The final pick here, I have us getting some quarterback depths. There's quite a few quarterbacks in the late rounds I like Cunningham from Louisville, Derek King from Miami, Florida. He is everywhere on draft boards. I've seen him in the 2nd. I've seen him being undrafted. I did not have him on here because I thought it would be way too unrealistic if he was drafted in the 7th round. But my 7th round pick is a very, very nice sleeper pick, in my opinion. That is Kent State quarterback Dustin Crum. You watch some action games, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays even. You notice, when Kent State's on, Dustin Crum if you watch any of his film, he's a very underrated quarterback. And if he played, a higher school like a Cincinnati or just something like Cincinnati, Boise State, one of those, bigger name group of 5 schools, I think Dustin Crum would be a lot higher on people's draft boards. But him playing at arguably, and I would say could be the worst conference in FBS, in the MAC. He does not really get, much spotlight. I know he, plays in the MACtion, but, the MAC's not really good in anything. Dustin Crum is a very intriguing quarterback prospect to me. There's quite a few intriguing quarterback prospects to me in our later rounds that I would really, really like the Bengals to maybe draft in the 6th and 7th round. Why not take a late round flyer on? Maybe it could be a nice backup because we've seen Brandon Allen. He helped us beat the Texans. That was a first road win in over 2 years. But the following week I believe he had a quarterback rating of like a 0 or something like that. Against the Ravens. So Brandon Allen's very consistent. We no longer have Ryan Finley, as our backup. So I would not mind at all if maybe we got a, late round quarterback to maybe compete with Brandon Allen for the, 2nd string job. I really like that pick there. I think he's one of the more sleeper picks as of right now, in the draft. as we get closer, to college football season, and once college football season plays out, I think Dustin Crum will really help his draft stock. Maybe going to the 4th or 5th round. Don't really see him going in the 7th, but if there's a situation where he's in the 6th or 7th from the Bengals, I'm running to the podium and getting him there in one of those later round picks. So in case you missed it, Cincinnati Bengals way too early 2022 mock draft. We're 300 days away from the 2022 draft in Las Vegas. I will go over these picks here one more time. In the first round, we took Alabama offensive tackle Evan Neal. I really, really like that pick. I think that's the best case scenario for the Bengals. He's best player available, and he's a team need. That works out really, really well for us. Very similar situation as well in the second, also a team need. And I would say best player available. We take Oklahoma edge rusher Nik Bonitto. That is a phenomenal pick there in the second. Another situation where I think it's best case scenario as well. In the third round, we take a defense tackle from Ohio State, Haskell Garrett. Haskell Garrett was one of my favorite defense tackles, last season, but he decided to come back and try to win a championship with Ohio State. And if we can get him with the 69th pick in the 2022 draft, I would be super, super happy about that. Because, in the fourth round, we took Notre Dame guard Cain Madden. He played at Marshall last season, decided to transfer to Notre Dame to get some more recognition. Preseason All-American, definitely one of the more underrated guards, in college football. Was one of the highest rated, players according to PFF this past season. In the fifth, we took West Virginia, defense tackle Dante Stills. His brother was Darius Stills, the draft prospect this past season, getting some more depth at defense tackle along with Haskell Garrett in the third. In the sixth, we take another Ohio State player, running back Master Teague, getting some more depth at running back. Would not really mind that at all. I know we took Chris Evans, but I think Teague is just too good of a player to pass here, and with the 169th pick overall. And my last pick of the draft here, we took Kent State quarterback Dustin Crum. I really, really like this pick. I think this has potential to be a really solid pickup, but I'm not sure if he's going to be here because I think people will start to look at him as we get closer to the college football season. I think he's going to have a really nice year, maybe being a 4th or 5th round pick, something like that. So, we're 300 days away from the 2022 NFL draft. There are so many possibilities. Like I said, some of these guys who are projected to be a 1st round pick might be, a 7th round pick. Some of these 7th round guys, like I mentioned, Dustin Crum from Kent State, could maybe be a 1st or 2nd round pick. Who knows? There's so much to look forward to the upcoming, college football season, in the draft. Cannot wait for the draft. I know it's 300 days away, but the draft is my personally favorite day of the year. Thank you all so much for, watching this video. If you can like this video, I would really, really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it as well. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hein Show.